Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review. Scoodly doodly doo doo.
Evening, everybody.
Hello, and welcome to the Welch review.
Good to see you.
Yeah, today, what are we talking about? It's
So,
a foreign film.
We're talking about the Danish film Another Round. And it just won, when were the Oscars? Maybe a week or two ago? So, they just happened, basically.
Yes.
But Another Round won Best International Feature Film at the Academy Awards. It also won the BAFTA, which is the British Academy Awards, for the same category, Best Foreign Non-English Speaking Film. Right now, in this movie, you have Mads Mikkelsen as Martin, and you might recognize Mads from Rogue One. He plays Jyn Erso's dad. He also is in the TV show Hannibal, playing Hannibal Lecter. And he was in The Hunt, which was a movie directed by Thomas Vinterberg, who also directed Another Round. So they've worked together before.
Okay.
And he was also in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And he played Lashif in Casino Royale. So he has been in Star Wars, James Bond, and a Marvel movie.
Yep.
And he also is replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Huh.
So he's in Harry Potter, he's James Bond. The man, Mads Mikkelsen, does everything.
Every franchise.
Then you have Thomas Bo Larsen as Tommy. And Thomas Bo Larsen was also in The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen and worked with the same director again. So it seems like some of the cast is very familiar with each other. You have Magnus Milling as Nikolai, and he was in the Commune, Heavy Load, The Command, in a show called Danish Dynamite. Now, these are all foreign stars, from the U.S., so I'm not entirely sure of their body of work. Yeah. They're European famous. Which probably means they're world famous, and they're too naive to know it.
Possibly.
So then you got Lars Ranth as Peter, and he was also in The Hunt, Adam's Apples, and A Funny Man. You have Helen Reingard Newman as Amelie, and she was in The Command in Submarino, and Submarino was also directed by Thomas Vinterberg. So he's picking in actors and actresses from other films from he's worked on.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Kind of delves into the same pool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have Maria Bonave as Annika, and she was in I Am Dina and The 13th Warrior. She played Olga.
Wait, the 13th Warrior, isn't that 20 years old?
It probably is.
Olga. We have to rewatch that.
Yeah,
I
we
love
do.
that movie.
You love me some Antonio. Then you have Sus Wold as Rector, and he was also from the movie The Hunt. So a lot of people from a previous Vinterberg production.
The Hunt is big in this.
Then you have Magnus Sjorp. It's like SJ's O with a slash through RP.
Norse.
It's as Jonas, and he's from TV and was in a show called Panisk Pask. You have Silas Cornelius Vaughn as Casper, and he was in a show called Julefiber.
Yeah, he's also Vince Vaughn's cousin.
He's also Vince Vaughn.
Yep. Not really.
You have Albert Rudbeck Lindhart as Sebastian, and he's in another movie with Mads Mikkelsen that comes out it came out in 2020, so I don't know when it comes out on DVD, but it's called Riders of Justice, and it's like a Death Wish-esque movie.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Which looks pretty dope. And then you have Martin Grice Rosenthal as Overjenner, and was in something called Before the Frost, The Command, which is something that Helen Rangard Newman was in. So the girl who played Amelie was also in that with Martin Grice Rosenthal here, and he was in something called Whiskey Cavalier. And this movie was written by Thomas Vinterberg and Tobias Lindholm. And directed by Thomas Vinterberg. Right, and Thomas Winterberg previously directed The Hunt, which starred Mads Mikkelsen and a decent amount of the other cast, so they're all familiar with each other in some capacity. And The Hunt is about this girl who accuses a teacher of touching her inappropriately, but he doesn't actually do that. and then like the town he's in believes the girl naturally,
and then they hunt him.
Yeah, basically ruins his life. I haven't seen it, but it looks pretty good. Huh. And Thomas Vinterberg also made the movie Far from the Maddening Crowd, which is based on a like beloved novel of the same name. I haven't seen that either, but if you look at IMDb, watch the trailer, looks pretty good, seems like it has good reviews. And he is probably most known for this film called The Celebration. Again, I have unfortunately not seen it, but this movie has piqued my interest in Mr. Vinterberg. Now, some other quick little fun facts, or not necessarily fun facts. This movie, some of the idea came from Thomas Vinterberg's daughter, give me a second, Ida, my apologies if I mispronounced that. And she was actually supposed to be one of Mads Mikkelsen's kids in the film. It was supposed to be a girl and a boy. But tragically, 4 days into filming, she died in a car accident.
God.
So this movie is dedicated in her honor to her. On a slightly happier note, all the dancing that occurs, Mads Mikkelsen actually did all the dance moves
really?
himself. Yeah, he hadn't danced in like 30 years.
Huh.
And he wanted to prove that he still had it. Also, the director and like the main cast, they frequently get together over drinks and like hang out and talk.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. And then this seems kind of like pointless and like a huge cash grab, like what American film studios are doing. Is when they, like, a successful international film such as this, right? Like, it's totally accessible, you know, with subtitles. You know what I mean? Like, it's not complicated to follow the story whatsoever. They're like, yeah, it's foreign, so we're going to make it an American.
We're making English.
Like, you're just going to remake the same movie with different people. Like, it's cheating. It's like what Disney does with their live-action films.
Or even with all of their animated films.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Hey, look, a fairy tale. Oh, it's Disney now.
Exactly. Yeah, like, you know, they're just taking something and redoing it for a cash grab. But whatever. Leonardo DiCaprio's company, Appian Way, acquired the rights to this film. So he most likely is going to try and do the Mads Mikkelsen role, which I'm sure he'll do fine. But it's like, I don't know, there's other stories to tell. Like, this one's it's good on its own. It doesn't need to be rehashed again.
Yeah, so, this doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but I like that he called it the Appian Way, because the Appian Way is the oldest, road in Rome. And it starts in southern Italy, and it leads north into Rome.
Really?
Right, yeah, and it's named after the Apennines, which are a mountain range in southern Italy.
That's cool.
It's actually the mountain range that goes throughout most of Italy. And yeah, it's I might be lying about that last part, but the mountains in the southern part of Italy are the Apennines. So the Appian Way, I don't know. I think that it makes a lot of sense. It was made to make sure that the Samnite or like Greek people in southern Italy would stop rebelling. So that Romans could just bring an army to the south as fast as they possibly could. But anyway, I just thought that it was cool.
No, that is cool, man. I wouldn't have known that. I don't know.
He's keeping it Italian.
He is keeping it Italian.
Anyways, with that out of the way, this lovely film follows Martin, who is a history teacher who isn't really feeling it anymore, right? He's like in his 40s. He doesn't really like where he is in life. He had kids early with his wife, who he's been with for presumably since just after high school, like in college, right?
Yeah,
and stuff's kind of rocky with them too. They don't really talk anymore. She literally tells him that she thinks he's boring now. Doesn't really talk with his kids. His students think that he's bad at teaching. He's kind of sad. So one day he goes out to a birthday party for his friend. It was for Tommy?
For Tommy.
Yeah, so he goes out to a birthday party for his friend Tommy. And they're like, oh, drink with us. And they tell him that they think that he's kind of like a stick in the mud, essentially, at one point. So he starts drinking with them. And they're having like a great time, right? And just before they start drinking, one of them brings up this theory, right? That if you keep your blood alcohol level at 0.05 throughout the entire day, then you will be more sociable and better equipped for work. So what he decides is, I'm boring, and I really had fun drinking again. It'd been forever, and just joking around, messing around with my friends, who he also works with. They're all teachers at the same school. So he decided, I'm gonna try this out and start drinking while I'm at work, and just keeping a 0.05 blood alcohol content level. And it goes really well. He's having a great time with it. His classes are doing a 180, right? The kids are learning, and he is just a very engaging and entertaining and fun teacher that all of the kids wind up really liking. After they literally have an intervention where all of them bring their parents in and they tell him how bad he is and disappointing he is as a teacher. So it does this whole big 180 because he starts drinking. And then he tells all of his best friends, hey, I'm doing this and it's working. And they're like, yo, I want to do that too.
Sign me up, Buttercup.
Yep. So it is him, who's a history teacher, one of his buddies. I think it's Tommy, who's the gym teacher.
Tommy, gym teacher.
Tommy, who's a gym teacher.
Nikolai is either the psychologist or the music teacher, or Peter is either the music or psychology.
So you got Nikolai
and Peter.
And Peter. One of those is a musician, music teacher, English, and the other's a psychology teacher. Whoever the psychology teacher is yo, we're going to write a scientific paper about this. Mm-hmm. We're going to get it published. And we are going to be the experiments, right? We are going to experiment on ourselves by testing out different blood alcohol levels to see what's optimal, to see what's destructive, to see what's a good idea and what's a bad idea. And through this experiment, our main character starts to kind of re-find himself as a human, right? He goes from kind of just a zombie going through the motions to somebody who's going out and having fun, really enjoying his work. His students are enjoying his work. He's reconnecting with his wife. He's having a better experience with his kids. And then everything, as they go deeper and deeper into this, all four of the guys start to kind of become alcoholics, rather than just people doing an experiment, because, they're drinking every single day, every hour of the day, at least when they're working. They're not allowed to when they're not working, for the experiment's sake. So they become alcoholics. And it starts to really ruin their lives. One of them is married, and at one point he literally pisses the bed, and it had been a running joke throughout the story that his small children, who still pee the bed but they sleep in bed with him, piss the bed. he gets drenched in kid piss every day. But now he's so drunk that he pisses the bed. And that's a bigger issue, obviously, because he's in his 40s and he's not a 5-year-old.
Right.
Meanwhile, our main character, Martin, finds out some unsavory stuff that's going on with his own family, brought on by the fact that, both him and his wife kind of lost touch with each other.
Yeah.
We're not going to get too much into that. Same thing with his kids. His kids kind of, notice, hey, Dad's an alcoholic.
Yeah, Dad's getting a little strange.
That's not good. Yeah, Tommy, the school pretty frequently finds his alcohol just all over the place, and he's the one who kind of dives the deepest into alcoholism and begins to struggle with that. The musician actually sees no downsides. He kind of just coasts. He's hey, this was fun.
I feel like it works for musicians in some cases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just through the, to this day.
Being an alcoholic and a musician is expected.
Right. They go hand in hand.
So I don't want to give away too much more. Basically, This experiment has its upsides and downsides, but what it does do is it kind of revives like the youthfulness of Mads Mikkelsen's character, and maybe not to the same extent the others, but they definitely see benefits in it themselves. And then on the other hand, there's some serious downsides that they explore throughout the film. I personally think that the entire cast performed very well. Granted, they were all speaking in a foreign language, so it's kind of hard to really tell like the execution of everything. But they all seemed like they had a very good rapport with each other, which makes sense because they've all worked with each other for the most part. Mads Mikkelsen is a fantastic actor, and I don't think I've seen a movie that he's in that I haven't liked yet. So that's always good. But yeah, I don't know. Are there any like standout characters for you? Anybody who you were like, yo, this guy's the real MVP?
Well, I think there are a couple. Obviously you covered Mads Mikkelsen pretty good, so I won't even touch on that. But I really liked Thomas Bo Larsen, like Tommy.
Yeah.
I thought he was really great, especially like, where he kind of takes to that young man on the soccer team.
Oh, Specs?
Yeah.
Specs is a kid with glasses, right? Sometimes they call glasses Specs.
Mm-hmm. But like I thought like that whole
spectacles,
dynamic between those two was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I thought like the scenes like where he was trying to like deal with his dog who needs help peeing, like that was really funny.
He has like this 20-year-old, like not actually 20, but he has like this ancient dog that can't really walk anymore, so whenever it needs to go pee, he has to carry it outside and lift its leg for it so that it can pee.
And like how he goes about things and like trying to hide and be mischievous and like, it's just good. Like they assembled a good cast of people, and like I like the fact that like even though they're flawed people, they are each like, I'm not saying like the fact that they were drinking on the job makes them good teachers, because it's not cool, but like that without that they are still good teachers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they care about the students.
They care about the students and their well-being, and like they want to make sure they feel included and are doing their best, and I think that's really cool. So for me, I think Tommy and Martin were the two standouts. Nikolai, and like don't get me wrong, Peter, they were cool, but like the funny moment I thought was when like the dude pissed the bed, kids pee on me, I'll show you, like he unleashes an ocean of piss into their bed, and they're like, oh, ew, but like this dude's getting beat on 5 nights a week, and like he's not like, oh, I'm going to my sister's or anything like that, like it's like, okay, someone's kind of a drama queen. Which I mean, rightfully so, because you can't be drunk and be around your family. That's not.
Yeah, you can't piss on your children.
You're marking your territory. They're mine.
This child is mine.
But so like outside of that, I didn't think they were like overly like standoutish. I think for another scene though that stood out was, you mentioned like the dinner scene where Mads Mikkelsen is as he's drinking, he's slowly opening up to these guys. Like, who knows if they're actually as close as, like, it seems like they were close at one point, and
then they had like drifted.
Right, and then like how when people like even today you'll talk with people, and I know I'm guilty of this, be like, hey, how are you? And even if I'm not doing good, I don't want them to know I'm not doing good.
So you just put on a face.
Right, you're just like, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. When in reality you're not. And it's like, it's nice seeing like as he was loosening up, he started to loosen that valve, and then they were talking to him and kind of telling him like how they thought about him, like straight. You know what I'm saying? Like straight to his face, like, it seems like you were destined for bigger things and you kind of just settled for less or whatever.
Yeah, I think
the camaraderie and honesty and just the Mads Mikkelsen's emotion. And
well, what I thought was cool about it is like have you ever met up with like an old friend and like you're talking and nobody jumps to all of the crappy stuff that's going on, right? You're like, oh, I'm doing this and that and this, and like, look at how great I am. Mm-hmm. And like that's what all of his friends were doing, right? Not necessarily Tommy, but that other guy, the one who pisses on his children. Like, you know, he's only talking about, like, how great things are for him. Like, you know, he's like, oh, I have a beautiful wife, and I have these kids, and I'm, you know, I'm working a job, and I'm making money, and, like, you know, everything's awesome. And Mads Mikkelsen's, like, thinking about, like, what's going on in his own life, just like everybody does in that situation. You're like, oh, everything's going so well for him, like, why aren't things going that well for me? And of course, they weren't going that well for him. The guy's like totally whipped, and again, he gets pissed on every night. So no, his life is not great. But at the same time, you know, like they're portraying very like accurate human behaviors, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to show like their flaws. But Mads Mikkelsen is just, like, having, like, a breakdown, right? He's, like, you know, when he starts drinking, he's just, like, chugging alcohol after being, like, completely, like, without it for years, right? Yeah. He had given up alcohol. And every time he, like, drinks down a glass, like you were saying, like, the valves kind of come loose, and he tells them, like, you know, like, I don't think that me and my wife are okay. Like, I haven't had like a real conversation with her in a while, and I don't really know how to connect with my kids, and my job is like a dead end, like it's not going where I want it to. And then like pretty immediately afterwards, like all of his friends jump in and are like, hey, you're awesome. Like, I don't know why you don't think that you're cool. You're great. And I don't know, that's just like a very like real moment. Like a lot of these characters have depth. Even the one who pees on his kids, you know, like he's putting up this front, like pretending like how great his life is, but then at the same time, he's not actually happy. No. You know, and like yeah, his wife is beautiful, but she's a jerk. He brags about how like he has this nice house that's on the ocean, right? But you never see him actually go into the ocean. You know what I mean? Or like on the beach. Like it's not like he's enjoying these things that he has. He's constantly like I don't know, trying to find I guess I don't even know how to word it. He just doesn't really enjoy the things that are in front of him. He's kind of like always trying to look for like what's next, right? Like trying to sound like he's always a big success. Yeah, I think the characters have lots of depth, which is cool, and kind of not the most common in a lot of the films that we've reviewed so far.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know, it's along with depth is you touched on realism, right? Like there are real moments and real aspects of this, you know, and I'm sure everybody watching ideally, and I know you and me in our own relationships with people, us included, you know, I've had moments where like, you're like, I'm not going to admit the world is being that great to me right now, you know, or things are going my way, or I don't want people to know that. Like, that's a real thing, you know, and then like having a select few people who you are real with, and you do, you know,
kind of let everything out.
Right, I'm sorry, I spaced on the word I'm looking for.
Oh, that's okay.
You know, but, so I thought that was really good, and then I like how, like, through Martin, we kind of also get to see what these other lives are like.
Yeah.
You know, like, he might be where we come from, like, how we see everything, you know, like our invite into the crew, but I like that the movie branches out into seeing how all these guys are.
Like, with life?
Yeah.
Aside from the musician, he's like the only one who doesn't really, like, he gets a little bit of spotlight, but it's always at school, right? They don't, like, show you his life. Whereas, you know, we watch Tommy, like, help his dog take a piss. We watch the other guy with his family as his wife tells him to do everything that he gets to do in his day. Right. You know, we watch what happens with Mads Mikkelsen. Yep. But, yeah, no, very solid film overall. We're not normally foreign film watchers. It's like,
I would say like
few
as of like last year, you know.
Yeah, but definitely just a good film in general. Like definitely check it out.
And it's like I know a lot of people are turned off by the idea of foreign films, or maybe not everybody, but I know enough are. right? But like once you like the subtitles, once they're on, right, or if you can alter the audio, sometimes that's even an option. But the subtitles don't take away from the story. You know what I mean? Like you forget they're there after a while. So like you're missing out if you don't check it out. You know, like Sam said, it's a really good film. I think it has some positive messages in that.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely don't start drinking while you're at work. I don't think
that's definitely not the
right thing to take away from this. But yeah, Another Round is a good film. I definitely suggest it.
So this has been the Welch Review,
and we'll see you later.